But carrying on with the benefits barometer from Alexander Forbes and applying this to the construction industry. Now, if you just look at the construction industry as it stands right now, a very important part of the economy when it comes to employment and jobs. I mean, in the formal sector, 723,000 jobs is what it's estimated at right now. And a third of the employment is in the informal sector, as you can see right now. Contribution to GDP in 2011, 3.4%. It has dwindled in the past few years, but overall that amounts to around 341 billion rand. So let's take a look at the benefits barometer.
Okay, just remember here quickly that there's three major areas as far as the benefits barometer is concerned. The first area for the benefits barometer, and there you can see it on your screen, is what we call the high priority areas. So those are areas that the construction industry needs to look at immediately. Medium priority areas, well, those are ones that they could potentially look at midterm, and then the low priority ones are still priorities, but those are ones that they could potentially push out a little bit further. So let's look at what the construction industry looks like. And there you can see it. Now remember, high priority areas are anything that's kind of colored in red, and here you can see them. Low income earners, absenteeism and incapacity, incentives, and temporary and informal workers. Bricks and books, very important in this sector as well. Young workers, and then obviously longevity. Medium kind of areas, there you can see them, unhealthy finances, and the other areas, mass exits.
So if you know that a third of your workers are informal workers and you're in the construction space, how can you adapt your employee benefits to suit them better?
Well, and this is going to be a controversial point. One needs to see where the informal workers are coming from. About a quarter of informal workers or workers in the construction industry who work informally are obtained through labour brokers. Now, it's a bit of a dirty word, but in certain cases the labour broker might be the natural provider of the employee benefits. Similarly, if the workers are unionised, the union might be the logical provider of employee benefits.
So that's where you have to get union buy-in and unions and employers working together.
Absolutely. If everyone cooperates, we all win. If we don't, the system will carry on failing to deliver as much as it could. And that's a tragedy, both for the people who are in the system and for those of us who live in this country and who see the consequences of this failure.
Yeah. Bricks and books, we didn't really talk about it. I mean, we introduced it, but given the fact that it is a high priority area in this specific sector, what does the construction sector need to do differently when they approach providing accommodation, education, or the non-traditional employee benefits?
Well, isn't it an irony that the construction sector has a need for housing for their own workers? When it comes to bricks and books, we really did find that even if an employer wanted to provide housing for their workers, there are often a lot of legal and tax complications to do so. And this is really an area where we need policymakers to become more involved, to partner with employers to find cost-effective and tax-effective ways of providing housing to workers. And what was also very interesting to us is we need to remember that the construction industry not only has unskilled labour, but also highly skilled professionals in the industry. And what we found was it didn't matter what your socioeconomic status was. Housing and education were the benefits that spoke to everyone.
Let's maybe just put up that chart again, or the table, just to show you the issues in the construction industry, and maybe just to tie it a little bit together. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of young workers, and there you can see it over there. That's a priority area. So young workers, which are literally low income earners. So to provide in a defined contribution world, in order to provide them with benefits that are member choice kind of led, giving them the ability to choose is probably not the right way to go. Making sure that they preserve those benefits and making sure that they understand the incentives in order to make sure that they keep those invested over the long term is very, very important, because that's how you alleviate yourself, or you take yourself out of poverty at the end of the day. By using the benefit, you can't then achieve what is called the bricks and books type issues. I mean, certainly the corporate can do their bit, but where does it as a society starts doing their bit as well? And how do the two actually interplay at this stage? Which really is a social issue in South Africa.